got to see what a competitor, what he can do in a situation that everything is on the line. And there's, in my mind, it's the best game I've ever seen him play.
Yeah. We clipped the part. Thanks, Molly, for wearing that number 4 jersey. Okay, Stephen A., would you like to comment on your friend?
Oh, please. I mean, it's the best game I've ever seen him play. Oh, stop it, Jerry. Please. I mean, look.
Is he
had a good game, all right? Is that the best? Hold on, Tommy. Is that the best game you ever saw Dak Prescott play?
The best game I ever saw.
I don't think so.
Pro. Oh, by far.
Absolutely.
Hold on. How about how he played in the loss to Green Bay years ago? I thought he played a fantastic game that day.
No, but
against Aaron Rodgers and those brothers.
No one said that game wasn't. This is the best. See, that game was good. This is better than that. So when you play good and you play better than that, guess what's next? You probably go play better than that. Just saying.
He was good.
This was his best game. This was his best game. He accounted for 5 touchdowns, man.
Okay.
He accounted for 5 touchdowns.
And the stakes were so high.
Okay. Yeah, and took care of business.
He accounted for 5 touchdowns. Dak Prescott have a good game. Go ahead, man.
Let's be honest, man. There was probably no player in the league, and beyond your motivation, there was no player in the league under more pressure in the first round of the playoffs than Dak Prescott.
He should have been.
Tampa Bay.
He should have been.
That's fine. But now we sitting here today talking about how he responded to that pressure.
He answered the call.
He responded to it. So when you got everything, when you have everything encapsulated about going into this game and how he performed and how much he was responsible for Dallas looking the way that they looked, it was his best game. And that doesn't have that's a part. His play is the major part of that. But could you imagine if they would have lost this game and Dak Prescott would have thrown interceptions like you said he was going to do? Huh?
That's true.
Huh? So this was his best game as a pro. On the road, in the playoffs, against your consummate hero, Captain America. The man went in through 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, and ran for a touchdown and moved his offense like a well-oiled machine. Okay? Best game. Let's not take that away from him. After you talked all you talked about how he was going to look on the road in his first wild card playoff game.
Hold his feet to the fire, Swagoo.
I am, because he'll do it to us. He's going to do it to us.
Stephen A., are you ready to talk Tom Brady, or should I wait for you to transition?
No, don't wait for him to do nothing.
We could talk Tom Brady. We could talk Tom Brady.
Thank you for that permission.
We'll deal with Dak.
It just hang in there, big fella.
I'm just saying, don't get attitude with me. Don't get attitude. If you're going to tease the subject, then I expect us to go to the subject. You was teasing it and then bypassed it. That's not me.
Then I talked about what was happening in the second hour. By the way, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to get me tickets for Philly for Saturday night. So if you could work on that. You spent 18 years.
He got it.
You could do me a favor.
For the Eagles?
I got no Christmas gift
Eagles,
from you.
Giants.
Yeah, I need that.
You did get a Christmas gift from me. You just haven't used it yet. That's not true.
Well, this is what I want. I want this. She didn't get me anything. And I won't even talk about what I got him.
Not a lunchbox, Swagoo. Not a lunchbox. Not a picnic basket.
So
you want tickets to the Eagles game?
I'm blue
You want tickets to the Eagles game?
Yes.
She blue.
All right, I'll work on that. I can make that call. I can make that call.
And I want tickets too.
So Molly, I'll answer your question about what Ryan Clark said. I'm with Ryan Clark. When you look at it, who really would want that, right? You say, well, it's Tom Brady. He went to the Super Bowl 10 times. He's won 7 of them. Look what he did his first year in Tampa. Yes, and everything was aligned perfectly for Tom Brady. He had an offensive line. He had tight ends. He had receivers. He had a nice running game. He had a defense, one of the top defenses in the league. The situation has got to be perfect. Can he still play football? Yes. But these situations now that's available, the Houstons, the Carolinas, the Raiders, them situations ain't New Orleans. Them ain't perfect situations that he had when he went from New England to Tampa Bay. You know, who is he going to replace in a perfect situation? Who is he going to replace? So for me, it's like, if I'm him, I'm looking at retirement anyway. I'm not looking to be trying to chase another ring. Why would I be chasing another ring to go play for the Raiders? Or go play in Houston, or go play in Carolina? Like, what? No, man. Just what I saw last night ain't even it.
Well, let me say this. I agree with you that he should retire, but I still think he's better than half the quarterbacks in the league. He had a bad night, man. He had a bad night.
But
let me say this. But you look at the Raiders. Let's look at two scenarios. And then I'll let
Raiders
you
ain't got
go.
no offensive line.
No, okay. I'm looking at a Devontae Adams. I'm looking at Waller and those brothers. You got some weapons there. Miami, if Tua and those concussion issues ain't resolved, he got a chance to throw it to Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. You trying to tell me? I'm not saying he shouldn't retire. Please don't get me wrong. But if he wants to play, those are viable situations
but
now.
If he wants to play, he's playing for a championship. He ain't playing to play. If he just want to play,
I agree
he
with
can
that.
play anywhere.
What's wrong?
But Miami ain't no champion.
Miami with Tom Brady?
Team. It's not that defense is not good. That defense is not good.
I think what everybody caught up on, and this is the hard part when what you're saying about Tom Brady is everybody caught up on the numbers, right? Like we talked about last year, he threw for 5,000 yards. He could still play the game at a very high level, and we all know that Tom Brady can still throw. We've seen the display of arm strength. We've seen all of those things. But Stephen A. last night, and I said Tom Brady should go home a month ago. Right? and this is not the first bad performance that we've seen. Like we have a lot of evidence this year, and I get it that the offensive line, but all of those situations are unpredictable, right? You could go into a situation great, and you could end up like Joe Burrow, where 3 of your starting offensive linemen are injured and out in a particular situation. You could deal with guys like Tom Brady trying to figure out what the right situation is at this point has a lot to do with what other guys are deciding to do on those teams. You got the Las Vegas Raiders with Josh Jacobs coming up. What are they going to do with him? Because we know Tom Brady needs a run game. They also got to get an offensive line, to Key's point.
I agree with that.
Defensively is what carried Tampa to a Super Bowl. As great as Tom was, defensively is the reason they won. You ain't walking into the Raiders facility with no great defense. So I know.
Okay. So, I mean, you lost me at hunting dog, and then it never came back.
Jerry Jones' communication strategy is about vibes. Yeah. You don't have to actually say anything.
It's about volume. Yeah. That's what it is. It's about quantity of words.
Wait, we must acknowledge the geometric shape that Marcus has somehow managed to put himself into at our desk. Marcus, what did you take from that?
He's just the worst thing to happen for him. He's the worst thing to happen for him.
Why?
Why would you bring up championship teams? Yeah. Why would you even bring that up? Like, I get Jerry is the greatest marketer in football, right? We understand, but this ain't the time for that. Why are you talking about a team with like 12 Hall of Famers on it? And you start seeing things come together. They beat Tampa. Great. Tampa was terrible all year long. All right. Here you go into a week where you say, here's what I would like him to say. We need to lock in. We need to get these guys rest. We need to lock in on the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to go try to win one more game. But Jerry ain't going to say that. He going to say this. So Greeny can come on Get Up and talk about, he compared them to the 93 Super Bowl team.
Yes.
And he think they can be that good. And G, I know, I feel your energy. That's why I'm glad I'm in New York, because it's perfect for you. And I just hate the fact that now the pressure. Here comes the pressure. Just like we talked about last week with Mike McCarthy. Why Mike McCarthy's job was up for discussion? Because of Jerry Jones. Had nothing to do with Mike McCarthy and what he's proven. Now we're about to be talking about the 95 and the triplets and Troy and Emmett and Troy. And do you realize that team had Larry Allen on it?
Yeah.
That team had guys on that team went to the Hall of Fame. Like literally got gold jackets. These dudes just trying to figure out who their number 2 and 3 receiver was 3 weeks ago.
Here's what I love about Jerry Jones is that
I know you do.
He is just like me. He overreacts so much to everything that happens. He watched that game last night, and I watched that game last night, and both of us had the same thought. We're winning the Super Bowl. We are winning the Super Bowl this year. And he thought it, and I thought it. I picked San Francisco to win the Super Bowl when the playoffs began. I changed my mind in the second quarter last night. I'm with you, Jerry. I feel you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I slightly disagree with Marcus is they're used to it. this is how Jerry's always been. When Dak was born, Jerry was doing this. So like this is not going to.
Well, you played for him.
Yeah, this is not going to make anybody in that building.
No, Foxy.
It's not going to make anybody in that building uncomfortable. They'd be surprised if Jerry came out there and was like tempered in his remarks.
That would
They'd be
worry
like,
them.
oh,
Right.
are we about to get fired? They about to clean house?
What do you mean, Jerry said no comment? Now, that's scary.
That's a lot scarier than him comparing him to an all-time great team. You know, Greeny, you talk about keeping that same energy.
Yeah.
Making me feel better.
Jerry gonna keep that same energy.
That's correct.
Maybe I'm too civilized.
Yeah.
Me, of all people.
You are too
I'm
civilized.
My issue with it, from an analytical standpoint, that's not what this team is doing.
Yeah.
Right? This team is not building like they were horrendous last week.
Right.